Hey, how you guys doing? Today is Wednesday, and it's hot over here in San Bernardino. It should have been drizzling or at least cold, but this year's being a little different. But I hope you guys are enjoying your guys' day so far. And ah, let's have a little story time, shall we? My birthday is coming up on the 15th of February, which is on a Tuesday. And I've been reflecting on my life, inflecting on just things, you know what I mean? And this will be a part one of a part two about my life. I want to end it from the age of 16 because that will start a new beginning on things that I didn't think was possible, and when things should have happened, never happened. But regardless, I hope you guys enjoyed this video of my life. So let's get into it.
2,000 years later.
Alright, well, some of you guys know I was born in 1989, February 15th. 1989 was the year of trying to leave the Reaganomics, trying to end the 80s of glitter and weird, tight, glittery, skinny jeans, spandex, Rick James Prince thing. You know what I mean? Like, it was weird. No, I just like, I don't know. I wasn't there. But I've heard the stories, you know? But nah, I was born in 1989. Oh, god damn. My bad. I was born in 1989. February. I don't know what day. I think that day was a Tuesday, actually, matter of fact. And, what can I say? My memory, if I have any memory of like I can remember thinking far back, probably when I was 3 years old and going to church with my grandparents, and I remember just being scared because I would see the brothers and sisters in church speaking in tongues, and it scared me. I remember it would scare me to the point that when I was like like 7, 8, I would laugh. I thought it was funny, you know, but I didn't understand it at the time, you know. And but you know that's the farthest of the farthest I can go. You know, my grandmother and my grandfather would always take care of me. Um, See, my mom and dad were very abusive to each other. You know what I mean? And my dad was very abusive to us when we were kids. It was bad. You know, sometimes when I talk to my mom and my dad about the stuff that's happened in the past, they like to deny it. But it's just they don't like to admit the wrongs of what they've done, and not even what they've done, just the situations, you know. But yeah, my dad used to always beat up me, my brother, my older sister, and it got to a point where, you know, my grandmother and my grandfather from my dad's side, they would always take me. They didn't like that. um you know, my older brother was pretty much loved, and he had his support from my mom's side of the family. And so, you know, my grandma would always take me. You know, my brother was always safe when it came to my mom's side of the family. You know, so, you know, my brother never had to worry, you know, when it came to that. But overall, we used to always get hit, get beaten up by my dad. You know, he was always running from the cops back and forth, you know, just getting into trouble, stupid shit, you know what I mean? And he was always going back and forth to church and games, and then finally, the last time he had got out, um, he pretty much he tried to stop messing around, game banging. Oh, he did stop, but the beatings got worse. It was like if he was bored or something. He was always getting mad because, whatever my mom would say to him. And it was funny, my dad was always the type that would bring up stuff that didn't even have nothing to do with us. He can hit his his toe on the edge of a table, he would take it out on us. He couldn't spell the word "the," he would beat our ass. And I laugh about it now because it's like, dude, I would never do like, what the hell? Who does that? But it is what it is. It taught me to be tough. That's for sure. I remember I was a sensitive kid though growing up, a nerdy kid. I remember, I would always need special help. You know, speech teachers, special ed, um, RSP. I used to do all that stuff, and it was funny because even though I was in there, I would always say, hey, you know what RSP stands for? Retarded, stupid people. anybody that was raised in the '90s know exactly what I'm talking about. When you hear that, oh, RSP, oh, retarded, stupid people. Oh, they used to piss me off when they used to tell me that. But when I used to say it, it was funny. But so that would always go on. I was in those classes. Teachers used to always be mean to me. I remember in kindergarten, first grade, second grade, I just had the meanest teachers. Right, just they would laugh at me because I couldn't spell. They would mock me. Before I would have a stuttering problem, or not really a stuttering problem, but kind of a stutter. When I would read, I was one before. I was one, once there, and even in my head, I would think of it. But the teachers, I put this on everything. The teachers and the students, they will bust a Billy Madison on me. Today, Junior. Oh man, that was the funniest thing ever. And so it got to a point where I remember one day there was a teacher. Oh, she was so mean, and it was a spelling bee contest, and she thought it was funny to sign me up to the spelling bee. Also with math contests. And I remember that I killed it. It wasn't a botch. It was straight out. I made the whole school look stupid that day. I ended up winning the spelling bee contest and the math contest with flying colors. And of course, I would still get remarks like, "Oh man, you're still stupid," And then we ended up moving to Long Beach because we were living in Paramount at the time. And then so when we lived in Long Beach, I remember my third grade teacher. That lady would always inspire me to do good. I remember she was one of those teachers that would sit there, and if you had to stay for an hour or 2 hours after school, she would be there and make sure that you got everything good, everything straight, if you understood it, and she was so patient. I remember she used to come to my house all the time. I forgot her name, Miss Priscilla or something like that. I think her name was Miss Priscilla. Yeah, she was she wasn't a Mexican or a Spaniard, or she was like a Spaniard, one of those Mexicans from Spain. She was from out there, but she was real nice. I remember she would always call my mom all the time, letting her know, and then but still, I would always get picked on. And then we ended up moving to Linwood. No. First, we ended up moving from Long Beach to Fresno, and that's when I discovered that I love history and I love science. Um, Unfortunately, my mom ends up putting me back in third grade, so I got held back, and I was destroying these motherfuckers. When I went to Fresno, I built confidence in my brain. I was very smart at that point. I was always winning science projects, awards. I was always spelling bees, math, whatever it was at that time in the '90s. I was it when it came to the nerdy, smarty kids. You know what I mean? I was those type of kids that would go to school, from Fallout shirts or whatever. But I'll always have my little calculator. I will have 2 pencils, 3 pens, and you know what I mean? Like I was Steve Urkel out. You know what I mean? Like I was ready for school. I would always finish my homework before I even got home. Like I would always do extra credit stuff. And I would finish it all in one day, and still had to go home, do my chores, clean up. Like when we were little, our routine was come home, put your stuff away, clean, do your chores, clean the whole house top from bottom, inside and outside, meaning that we had to clean outside too, and then we had to do our homework. We'll wash up real quick and then do our homework. Then after we do our homework, we have to eat dinner. And right after dinner, not 10 minutes, 15 minutes, no. Right after dinner, we had to wash the dishes, dry them, and put them away. Then go back to the drawing board and finish your homework if you didn't finish your homework. So time was everything. We had a schedule. Like my dad swears like this motherfucker treated us like we're in the military / fucking Little House on the Prairie. Like he thought he was a Sergeant Charles Ingalls. And so he thought he was Major Payne. And and he was like that with all my cousins, all our friends that used to come over. Yeah, if you wanted to come over, yeah, you had to do all that. Yup. It was messed up. But yeah, so I was a smart kid, and then from Fresno, I was always developing my insecurities were leaving a little bit because I was finally smart. I didn't feel like people were laughing at me no more, you know what I mean? Because I'm smart. And then we ended up moving back to Linwood in the Compton area, and I was getting bullied more. Not mostly by teachers. The time I hit 4th and 5th grade, the teachers were nicer, but they were still dicks. And I remember teachers used to hit the kids, smack them in the back of the head, shit like that. I swear you would have thought that we were in Catholic school, but no, that's just the way it was. And the time I'm in 4th and 5th grade, I'm getting bullied, I'm getting fucked with by not only people I don't know in school, teachers, but now with friends and family. Just now it's to a point that they're just fucking with me, and the abuse with my dad didn't get any better, it got worse. My sister ended up leaving, and when my sister left, I didn't know she was getting adopted or nothing. All I remember is she promised me, because she was packing her stuff, and she says, "Oh, I promise I'll be back for your birthday." She never came to my birthday, when we had a party for me for my birthday. And I didn't know she was adopted or what. And I didn't see her until I was 14, 15. A couple years later, and she left when we were young, before we even left to Fresno. So we were, or even in Long Beach. So, I didn't see my sister for a long time. So after my sister left, she left when she was 16. My brother and and me were now just getting our asses whooped on an everyday basis for nothing. So, all that shit going on, uh, until finally I went to middle school in sixth grade, and I was like, all right, these are people that are seventh, or sixth, seventh, and eighth graders, right, in these middle schools. I'm thinking to myself, all right, cool, uh, there's going to be different people now. You know what I mean? And maybe the bullying and the shit talking and all that would end. But no, it got worse. It got worse. Um, but I ended up having homies too. Now it's getting to a point that I'm getting involved with little crews in the middle school. And I remember sixth grade. Um, I got jumped by some fools from the school, and I met one of my homies, Francisco, and um, my homie Javier and Gustavo. It was them three and me, so it was four of us, and we ended up making our own little clique. And at the time, my brother was getting jumped in to Linwood Root Boys, and so all this stuff was going on, but I was still a nerd in heart. And just one day, I just got pissed off. I got mad, and I called my uncle Happy. I was like, "Hey, you think I can kick it with you for the summer?" He was like, "Yeah, hell yeah." And he was my favorite uncle out of all my uncles from my mom's side and my dad's side. He was my favorite uncle, and so I took kicking it with him for months. I'm not going to get into detail, but pretty much I told him what was going on with me, all this stuff with my dad, all this stuff, the way I'm being treated, and let's just say he showed me how to go hunting, and it got really crazy, really crazy. So the time I'm in seventh grade, or coming back to sixth grade, going to the seventh grade, I have a whole new look. Still the same person, I have respect for women, for girls. I'm still a nerd, but I'm just not that one to fuck with anymore. You know what I mean? And I end up just getting in fights and fights, fucking fools up. At that time, I was rapping a little bit, learning how to express myself. I was into Biggie and Eazy-E and Tupac and Bone Thugs. So I was just constantly just flowing everything in my mind, because I used to write poetry too. So I would just write it down, and so writing lyrics is nothing. And I just let loose until the finally when I went to eighth grade. That's when shit hit the fan. Um, we were always going to church. We were always going to church, and we were always uh, going every Sunday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Like it was always all the time. We were always in church. But I knew my mom and dad had problems and issues. Shit, my dad used to beat my mom every fucking day. He used to beat us every fucking day. It was bad. But I guess my mom just got tired of it. And you can tell she was forced to do certain things with our family, like going to church. And that wasn't her, but she did because she loved my dad. She got baptized. I think that was my dad's plan. But my mom got baptized, and we're going to church and all that. But I think somewhere along the line, she just got tired of the abuse. And I remember my mom was kind of pregnant, and she ended up losing a baby. I think that was the camel on the straw for her. I think she just had enough of my dad's bullshit. And then my sister comes back. She has her own little family and all that. And you thought everything was going to be cool. That's when everything got messed up. Uh, my mom and dad split up. My mom took off with some fool in Wilmington, and I used to remember that fool's piece of shit name, and it made me more angry, more bitter, to a point that I almost beat up one of my cousins half to death just for a stupid ass remark. I remember getting in fights with homeboys just because of a stupid song. Like, I was just rage and mad. Then my dad gets busted. My dad gets busted after my mom takes off, and then my brother finally told me what happened, and he ends up taking off. But he tells me, "Well, hold on, mom's coming. Your uncle's going to come pick you up. Da da da. Whatever." No one ever came. My mom took my sister, my little sister. My older sister and her family, they took off. My brother took off with his girl. I was stuck in apartments for 2 weeks, but nothing but hookers and game bangers, shooting up, fucking our place up, stealing, jacking our shit. And then 2 weeks later, that's when my uncle picks me up, and they didn't even know that my dad got busted until my dad ended up calling them, and they finally got a hold of me. And so I remember my cousin Melissa came with her dad, and they picked me up. I stood with them for about a week or two, and I ended up going to my uncle's that lives out here in San Bernardino, my uncle Ruben, and this fool took care of me and was there for me. I was just still a kid with rage and anger, and my grandma and grandpa, they were doing God's work. They were in Texas, Arizona, Mexico, New Mexico, preaching the word and all that. So, my grandma didn't know what she knew what was going on, but she couldn't do anything at the time. And so I would stay with my aunt Yolanda, my uncle Richard, Kiki and Polona, and it was cool. It was cool though, I got to kick it with family. Thank God that I didn't have to go to a foster care. It didn't lead up to that. I was able to stay with family, and that's what family do. They stay together no matter what. And I had bad nightmares, PTSD, because all rude ass. Because all I can hear at the time was just those beatings. I mean, my dad used to beat our asses bad, real bad. I think that's why my brother hated my dad. My sister Vanessa, she didn't have to endure any of that. She never gotten hit, never gotten touched, never nothing. Which I thank God for that, because she doesn't understand the things that happen to us mentally and physically. She doesn't understand that. But thank God that she doesn't have to ever understand that to go through that, or go through that to understand that. And then I ended up going back with my cousin Melissa's family because I decided, I think it's best if I just start going back to church, going back to doing that, Sorry helping my cousin and her dad at the church. They let me stay with them, and it was cool at first. And then the church started getting weird. It was too controlling, man-made rules. And then, but I still turned a blind eye in a sense, because I didn't want to feel like oh, this is my pastor. I don't want to abandon him either, because you got to be loyal to your pastor. You have to, and you got to be the one. If he's doing wrong, you got to let them know by scripture. And so I was learning a lot, and but in my heart, it all I wanted to do was fight. All I wanted to do was gang bang. I was going back and forth to Compton. From kicking it from my uncle in 6th grade, I got jumped in Compton D-Flats, and that's all I knew. All I knew was to fight, gang bang, fucking do drugs. I was a party animal, drinking like crazy. But inside of me, I was tired of. I was tired of screaming in my head, if that makes sense. Um, I used to do 8 balls of meth, shrooms. So I remember. I remember one time going to my grandma's church, and um, they had prayed. The ministers and pastors prayed over me, and I didn't even say nothing. I didn't have to say nothing. The pastor came up to me and says, "You know what? You're hurting right now, and what you're doing, you know it's wrong, but your heart won't allow you to escape it." And he told me that there's only two ways your life is going to end. He told me, right now, your path is going to lead you to eternal damnation. He's like, but there's another road, a path, that if you go right now, it's not going to be easy and it's going to be hard, but you can leave your worries to God. You give your life to God, you'll be able to sleep. You'll be joyful. You'll be happy. You'll be comfortable. You're going to be attacked by the devil, because once you make that decision to live better, think better, act better, and start living a life for God, oh, who's going to attack you? It ain't going to be easy. But you be happy. You be full of joy. So I thought about it. And he's like, let me pray for you. So I lift my hands up. I let him pray for me. And before he can touch me, the Holy Spirit just hit me. Ooh! I fell on the ground. And God gave me a vision. It's a vision that I never forget this. Every time I tell my testimony, no matter if it's drugs or the things I've done in my life, whatever, I always tell them this because it hit me like this. Jesus showed me this vision. If I don't repent and start living right and start living for Him, that path that I'm going to go, I will die before my 18th birthday. He told me, you won't make it to see 18. You're not going to make it to see 21. And you're not going to make it to be 25. This is what's going to happen to you. But if you change now, I just need you to talk to me every day. If you go this way, I can see myself just happy, chill, not be easily angered, and just loving God, loving people, helping people, teaching kids what to do, because I've been in their shoes before. It was beautiful. I was attacked by the devil, but it wasn't like if I was worldly, I'll seek revenge, or I'll drink my shit away, or I'll smoke my pain away. No, it was all just, I can just pray, take a deep breath, maybe smoke a blunt, and just thank you, Lord, thank you, thank you. So when I seen that, I just started crying. And it was about a year until I was 16. I was 16 years old. I was still getting into trouble, but I wasn't. I tried to calm down. I was selling dope. I was selling weed. Um, on the low key, I was making a lot of money, but playing stupid. I was just, you know, stupid ass kid. I dropped out of high school. I didn't care. And then one day, it was 4th of July, 2005. I said, you know what? I want to start going to church and I want to get baptized. I told my grandma that. She was happy. She just told me, be careful. What I'm doing is serious. And 9/11/2005, I got baptized at the age of 16. I started speaking in tongues. I never felt so happy, so relieved, so dead, but then alive. It was just a beautiful feeling, Like, I can't even explain it. So I wanted to celebrate. And I ended up meeting up with my sister, my oldest sister, and I ended up getting high as a kite. Happy, blessed. At first, I did not feel bad, and then I repented. I told God, I'm sorry. But, man, 16 on fire. You gotta understand something. The way I grew up, especially after my mom and my dad had took off, and my brother took off, my sister took off, I had to, from 11 to 12-year-old set of mind, I had to become an early adult. I tell people my childhood was not fun. My dad used to beat our asses on an everyday basis. When I was a teen, I had to think like an adult, and when I was an adult, I was already I'm already thinking like an old man. It's just I've always been old in heart, like an old soul. So when I was 16, I had more smarts, more brains, more activities, more everything, more than any person my age. Um, I remember being 10 years old having the full-blown conversations with 40-year-olds. Think about that for a second. So, I mean, 16 was so beautiful in my life. And wait for part 2 to bring you here 15. I'm sorry, from 16 to all the way now to 33. All right. I don't know when that's going to be. I think it's going to be Monday. So don't wait up. It's going to come. It's going to happen. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I just want to give you guys a little life lesson of my life. Little things. I'm not throwing a lot of things out there, but just letting you know what did happen, and from being a baby to 16. God blessed me when I was 16, and He's still blessing me. It's just I didn't see it yet. The devil almost made me forgot. The devil almost made me have 7 times 7 of demons in me. But I never forget what Jesus done for me. And you guys are going to hear my testimony between now and Monday. Alright? So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Sorry for the bloops. Sorry for the... I'm at work. So I had to stop each time. You know what I mean? And so, this is not all in one run. Alright? But, just know that it is in order. And I hope you guys have a beautiful day. God bless you, and of course, keep a smile on your face. No, just play. All right. God bless you guys.